Purpose of this video is to give you a quick overview of the tools that Infinite Campus has available to you as a parent or guardian and how we can use that to help us make sure our student is being successful at school. The first thing that we're going to want to take a look at is in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and we are going to notice that we have an icon that looks like a person. We're going to go ahead and select that icon, and it's going to give me settings, language, give feedback, and log off. We're just going to focus on settings. And in settings, you may want to consider looking at the notifications that you are going to receive. So once you have an email account attached to this, you're going to be getting emails about certain things depending on your notifications. So I can get a notification every time something is scored, and I can adjust when I want to get that. So let's say when an assignment is scored and it is less than a 60%, so my student has a failing grade for that particular assignment. So I could have all assignments scored by putting it up to all scores. I can adjust it based on a specific grade or percentage that I'm looking for, or maybe I don't want to get any notifications about any scored assignments. We can do the same thing about when a grade is updated. I can adjust where I want to see those. So if it's a failing grade or maybe a C or below, or maybe I want updates on all grades. We can adjust our lunch balance. So right now we would get a notification when my lunch balance is less than $5. We can adjust that amount so I can keep track and make sure that my student has enough money on their account for lunch. I can get notifications when attendance is taken every day, and there are a couple others that you can decide if that's something you want to be notified about. Another area in the settings that we may want to take a look at is the account settings. And this would allow me to update in email for any security purposes and what my login password may be. There are two other sections in settings: the current devices that are logged into this Infinite Campus account, if you wanted to check that out, and if there are any connections that you want to pair or sync this account with. Now that we've gone over settings within my Infinite Campus account, we want to go over to the top left-hand portion of the screen where we see three horizontal lines. This is my menu. And if I go ahead and open that menu up, you can see that I have lots of different options that I can go through and look at and even customize. We're going to go through each of these very quickly, and there'll be additional videos going into each of these in greater detail. You're going to notice in the Today section, I see a picture of my student and lots of other information. For example, how much money I have on my lunch account. If I have any assignments due today or tomorrow, I can see my student's schedule, and I can also see if I have any outstanding bills or things that I need to pay for. In the calendar section, I have the ability to view important things coming up looking at a calendar view. So currently I'm on assignments, so anytime I have a black dot, I know that something important is coming up, and I can see what that assignment is and what class it's for. I can take a look at my schedule, and I can even click on this schedule, and I can see important information like who the teacher is and contact information for them. I can also go to attendance, and I can look back and see if my student was marked absent or tardy for any classes. In the assignment section, I can take a look at all assignments that have been graded over the course of this trimester, or I could just focus on missing assignments and make sure that my student is getting those turned in. For the grading section, I can take a look at what my students' grades were for all terms, trimester 1, 2, and 3, or I could specifically focus on a certain trimester. I'm able to come over and expand this grade, and I can take a look in more detail on what my student has turned in, what those grades are, and how it's affecting their scores. Gradebook updates is very similar to grades. We're just going to see the most recent updates in the gradebook that my students' teachers are inputting. For attendance, I can take a look at their attendance over the course of each trimester, and I can see if my student was absent or tardy for each of their classes. I can expand on this and I can find exactly what day they were absent or what day they were tardy as well. In the schedule section, I can take a look at their current schedule, or I can even take a look at upcoming schedules if my student is in middle school or high school. If I'd like, I can also click on each of these and it will tell me course information where I can get teacher information. I can look at upcoming assignments and even grades for this course. In the food service section, this is where I can take a look at my lunch account balance, and I can also add money to my account by selecting pay. In the fees section, I can take a look at any outstanding fees that I may have. It could be for registration, it could be book fees, any damages on my iPad, and you can also pay things right here as well. In the document section, I'm able to take a look at progress reports and report cards. I can open these up and view them as a PDF or print them if I have the ability to do so. In the More section, we are going to go through each of these in more detail in a later video, but you can see in here I'm able to update or take a look at any address information, demographics, family information. I can locate what locker I have and what combination I have. I can apply for free and reduced lunch. I can see what bus I'm riding and what time that's going to pick me up and drop me off, what my login credentials are. So this has a lot of information that is going to be important for you and your student.